Hi everybody, my name is Faith Ellie, or personally I would prefer to be called Who Dat Queen or Who Dat Queen 94, whichever. And I am super excited to be bringing you guys this video today because this is my first YouTube video and I'm super excited to be sharing it with you guys. But this actually is not my first time on YouTube. In fact, I started YouTube about 10 years ago, back in 2012. So I'm super excited to be back and yeah, welcome to my channel. So a little bit about me. I am a huge New Orleans Saints fan, as you can see here, with my teeny tiny display. It's not much. I do have more Saints stuff than this, but recently I moved, so a lot of my Saints stuff is still in storage, so this is what I could get from my previous residence. So it's not much, but as you can see here, I just have some little knickknacks. I got a teddy bear named Teddy. We did have a quarterback named Teddy, and this is Archie. I know. But yeah, so I'm a huge Saints fan. I am part of the Who Dat Nation. And back when I was on YouTube, 10 years ago, I was also doing the same, talking about the New Orleans Saints. So it feels good to be back, getting to do this once again. And I thought, what better time than 10 years later on my 10-year anniversary. A lot has happened since then. But I figured there is no better time than now because this season is very different. At least I feel it's very different than last season. I wanted to do YouTube last year, but I guess I didn't feel like it was the right time. Just because last season rather, in the NFL was just so bizarre. I don't know if I'm the only person that feels that way, but the 2021 season was just very weird. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't ready for Jameis Winston. I wasn't used to him. I didn't know much about him. I mean, I knew he played for the Bucks. I know the 30 for 30, right? 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. But I didn't really know him because I didn't pay much attention to the Bucks in general. So because I didn't pay much attention to the Bucks, Jameis Winston was not really somebody I looked out for, because the Bucks were not very good. So, when Drew Brees retired, it felt like a new chapter, but it just was a lot to get used to. I'll admit I am a relatively younger Saints fan in the sense that I didn't grow up watching the Aaron Brooks era. My knowledge of Saints football has always been Drew Brees, and he is the main reason that I fell in love with the Saints and fell in love with football in general. So last year, it was just an adjustment, and I wasn't ready for Jameis Winston, and, I could have been a little too critical towards him, because there's something about Jameis Winston he has a very comical approach to football, and it can be very enlightening, it can be very fun, but, Drew Brees is very, serious, and, he can get, goofy when it's time, but Jameis Winston is always on. And it's not a bad thing per se, but it's a lot to get used to. And I just felt like last year was just so awkward. And, he was doing very, very well. And then, of course, he had an injury. Trevor Siemian came in. We still managed to beat the Bucks in that game. And then he started to play pretty pitiful. And then the Saints got hit with, what's the word I'm thinking of? They got hit with a lot of, situations that, wasn't necessarily fair. And then we had to play the Miami Dolphins, and then Ian Book came in, and Ian Book was just really, really bad. And, and I felt sorry for the kid because, to be thrown into that situation, it sucks, I think, for anybody. But, the thing with Ian Book is if you saw him in the preseason, you know that he's just not cut out to be with the Saints. But as I was saying, I felt like football last season was just very bizarre. I don't know. I wasn't really into it, honestly. And I love football. I'm not just a Saints fan, but I love the NFL in general. I love watching football. It's one of my favorite things. When I get up on Sunday mornings, I am literally going from my bed to the couch. I'm not moving because I just love football that much. I don't care who's playing. I got the teams that I like to watch and I got the teams that I don't like. So yeah, I love football. But last year, it kind of felt more like, I don't want to say an obligation, but it kind of did feel like an obligation at certain points. And then the Super Bowl came and, it looked good on paper, but that Super Bowl was just, it felt very Hollywoodish. The game was in SoFi, the game was in LA, it was the Rams. The Rams won the Super Bowl, best bunch of West Coast rappers. It just, I like the halftime show, by the way. I'm not knocking it. I hope that people don't misconstrue it, but it just felt like a Hollywood story. I don't know. And, the thing with the Saints is that the Saints did fight a lot of battles, and it sucks that our season ended on a Matthew Stafford interception. I mean, because if Matthew Stafford gets that touchdown, that's it. Saints are in the playoffs, and we end up playing them, which would have been a really great matchup. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. We get screwed once again by the Rams. So I'm kind of over that season, but I'm super excited about this season. So I want to talk a little bit about that because it is Falcons hate week. I do want to point out that I myself am not a big trash talker. I'm not somebody who's going to trash talk on anybody or any teams per se. If there's a team I don't like, don't take it the wrong way. It's nothing against you. It's just the team I don't like. So I'm not a trash talker. I want to make that very clear. I'm not here to beef with anybody. I just want to talk about my Saints because I love my Saints. This has been the love of my life for more than a decade, so. But it is Falcons hate week. It's what we call it. It's week 1. And I'm thinking, how should I go about this without seeming or sounding rude? The Saints are 5.5 favorites to win this game, and I think that that's fair. I think that the Saints could win this game by a touchdown. And no real reason behind it. It's hard to really analyze games for week 1 because the motto applies any given Sunday, specifically on week 1. It's kind of hard to just, go off preseason and make an assessment. But I did see one Falcons preseason game. And this is a new year for them as well. They got Mariota coming in after, Matt Ryan goes to the Colts. So this is new for them as well, kind of like what we went through last year, I assume, even though Drew Brees won a Super Bowl and Matt Ryan didn't. But I wish him the best of luck, honestly. I have nothing against Matt Ryan, But anyway, the reason I think that the Saints have a really good chance of winning this game is because I think that we're like 90% there. Maybe not 90, maybe that's not. I think that the Saints are 85% complete. Because finally we addressed the issues we needed to address. I mean, it does suck that we did lose our offensive lineman, but they said that Trevor Penning is going to come back maybe in November. So that kind of sucks, but there is one guy that I think we're all standing right now, and that is Chris Olave. Olave or Olive? hope I'm saying it right. I'm gonna say Olave. But man, do I love this guy. This guy is fire. I mean, he is very much fire. I love this guy. And not only that, but we got Jarvis Landry, we got Michael Thomas back, Kamara, Ingram. So, I think we got somebody else. Somebody that's not coming to mind right now. I'm super nervous, so forgive me for that. And if the fact that I talk with my hands bothers you, I do apologize. It's what I do. You can just scroll down if you want to and just listen to what I have to say. But yeah, we finally got Winston some great new toys, and I can't wait to see him play with them. If that's weird to think about. Depends on how you take it. But I'm super excited for that, and I think we were loaded on offense, and it feels like it did a couple years ago when we were loaded on offense. I'm not saying it's the 2011 Saints, with Marcus Colston, Lance Moore, Pierre Thomas, Jimmy Graham. Yeah, but it looks pretty good on offense. And defensively, I mean, if we can carry what we did last season into this season, oh my goodness gracious. Sorry. My goodness gracious. I think we're going to be really good this year. I'm not just saying that because I have to be biased. I think we're going to be really good this year. It sucks that we did lose CJ Gardner-Johnson. Obviously, he was traded to the Eagles, and then I think Marcus May was arrested on some weapons charge. I wasn't quite sure on that. I think that's what happened, right? I'm sorry. When I read something, it's literally just goes out that way. So that's not good, but I still think that we can bounce back from that. Especially, I don't know much about him. That's the thing. I don't know much about Marcus May, so I don't know what I can say in regards to that. I just know losing CJ Gardner-Johnson does suck, and it sucks because he went to Philadelphia, and I hear he's trash talking. I don't really follow people on Twitter, so but yeah, that kind of does blow because he was a great addition in the defense. But speaking of great additions, we got Honey Badger, and I can't wait to see what he does. I mean, I'm very excited about this season, and it's been a very long time since I've been excited for a Saints season. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I feel like when we lost to the Rams in that NFC Championship game, it just kind of sucked the excitement I had. And not just for the Saints, but football in general. I think that was a big, disappointing loss, and just to be in that position where you just have that gut feeling that you're going to the Super Bowl, and to have it taken away literally, and then having to do it again the next season, it's so disappointing that you kind of lose interest. Not interest, but that excitement and that thrill, it's gone. But this is the first time I've been excited since then. And I really do think that the Saints, my bad, have a great opportunity to at least make the playoffs this season. And I don't want to speculate on what the other teams are going to do in the division, but I really don't think the Bucs are going to do nearly as good as people are giving them credit for. I don't know, and I think karma's a B. And I think that whole game that Tom Brady wanted to play, I hope it comes back. I really hope that they have a bad season because of that. I think that the Saints have a great opportunity to maybe, I don't want to say it, but maybe they could. Who knows? But getting back to this game, week 1 against the Falcons, again, it is hard to really break down this game because, well, it's week 1. You can't really take a lot from preseason because most of those guys are not on NFL rosters, or they're, they're on different teams, so you know, it's kind of hard to say, but I think it's fair. I mean, I think it's fair to say, not fair. I think it feels right to say the Saints are probably going to win this game. I'm not good with picking numbers. If I was, I'd be at the casinos every weekend. But I think that 5.5 is, I think that that's pretty accurate. It'll be easier next week to analyze, the game or analyze what the Saints did right or what they did wrong because, we would have known. Again, week 1 is just it's very tough to really say, oh, I think we're going to go in and we're going to score 30 points on them, because their defense is, not very good because it wasn't last season. So, it's kind of hard to really say that, or, make an accurate decision, or, I'm sorry, an accurate opinion, or have an accurate opinion, because it's week 1. But I do know that the Saints the Saints need this win, obviously, but, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the Saints are only 2 games behind, which means if the Saints, sweep this season, then that means, I don't want to say that out loud because I don't want to jinx it, but if you know what I'm saying, you know. So, I believe the Saints are 2 games behind. Win this one, they're only 1 game behind. So, if you know, you know. I don't want to say it. I'd be very quiet about it. But, yeah. So, the Saints obviously need this win. I think that they're going to get this win. I don't have much, I don't have anything to really back it up, but other than the fact that I think that the Saints are the better team. And it's gonna be interesting to see what the Falcons do with, Marcus Mariota. I remember this one game he came in for Derek Carr, and he did really, really well. I think the Raiders may have won that game. But I remember he was hitting Waller for touchdown after touchdown, which is good for me for fantasy. I love fantasy football, so and that team that Waller was in actually won me championships. So, but again, it was a couple years ago, so I'm just kind of just saying random things now. But anyway, it is still week 1. It is still Falcons hate week, and I think the Saints are gonna win this game. I think that 5 points is pretty good. I'm gonna stick with that. So with that being said, I have so much that I want to talk about this season, and hopefully this video does pretty well. If not, that's okay. Because I plan on doing this until the season ends, because I'm just so glad to be back. That's the thing, is I want to be here talking about my Saints, because that's what I know. I don't know a lot about life or things in general, but I do know Saints football. I may be a little forgetful from time to time. I may have to look stuff up, but for the most part, my love for this team should never be questioned. I love my Saints to death, and I'm just super excited, and I can't wait to share that love with people who also love football or the Saints, or just, are bored on YouTube and happen to come across this video. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can say for right now. I cannot wait for the game on Thursday. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I cannot wait. I'm super excited. I mean, I think that's the Super Bowl we should have had. Honestly, that would have been a really good Super Bowl, because I think the Bills would have won it. I like the Bills. I have been on their bandwagon for a couple years now. But yeah, so let's go Bills Mafia, right? But yeah, let's go Bills. So I think that's pretty much it. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I am on Twitter at whodatqueen94. I don't exactly have a name. I want to kind of switch it up as much as I can. I don't want to have like same name, but my @ is whodatqueen94. I recently just changed it, and if you'd like to subscribe, I would really appreciate that. But if not, that's okay. I totally understand that. That's cool. But give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If not, that's cool. But I'm just here to share my love of the New Orleans Saints, and I cannot wait for a great season. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, let's go Saints. Who dat? All right, bye.